Sheffield United 2, West Ham United 2. You're going to have to forgive me because I'm a little bit worse for wear. Not because I'm ill, but I've had too much spice rum today. Started off quite early on the way up here to Sheffield and continued. Well, we hid the rum. We had to hide the rum as we got to Sheffield station behind a bush. And then on our way back, we found the rum. So I've been on it all day. But anyway, the game. Well, the lineup, I guess, best that Moyes could do. You know, we're depleted squad for injuries or for players on international duty. But it was great to see Jared Bowen back. And the selection that he, or the formation that Moyes put together was quite interesting because he played Danny Ings as a number 10, and that was odd. And who would have thought that Danny Ings as a number 10 would actually have such a decent game? I guess when you think about it, Danny Ings didn't have to sort of get on the end of the ball and try to do what a centre forward does, whereas as a number 10. He maybe had a little bit more time on his hands and he actually did pretty well. So, fair play, David Moyes, for actually putting Ings on as a number 10 in order to sort of play a little bit deeper. And then when it comes to the front line, I mean, the back four and the midfield is what it is. Soufal, Zuma, Mavropanos and Emerson at the back, with Areola in goal, and then the three in front: Souček, Ward-Prowse, and Fornals seem to make sense as well. And then up front, Cornet, Ings, and Bowen. He could only do what he had available to him, but Ings played well. Bowen, great to see him back, but he didn't really sort of do much because it's going to take a bit of time for him to get match fit again, which is understandable. The first half was 50-50. It's ironic, we were talking at the half time and saying that without our key players we were just about as good as Sheffield United, who are languishing at the bottom of the league. So we sort of definitely need our flair players around, but the second half was quite different. We actually took it to them. It was quite different. The second half, we played an awful lot better. We were on the front foot. I think the way Moyes was mixing it around up front, there were moments there was Bone up front and then Cornet went up front, and he kept mixing it with who was going out wide, etc. And for a time it worked. We scored a decent goal, our first goal. I think we kind of edged it in the first half, and then, right at the end of half, we kind of said we need to get into this second half without conceding. But as we usually do, we ended up conceding 1-1 at half time. But then the second half, I think we played I think we played better than Sheffield United. I think we had better tactics than them, and I think we got a deserved penalty. And we scored that, Ward-Prowse taking it with aplomb. And then, of course, you had to look at the substitution that Moyes made, and we were all really, really baffled because he took Maxwell Cornet off, who I think had a half-decent game, and he put Ben Johnson on, and we were all scratching our heads, asking ourselves, what on earth is going on? And then Ben Johnson came on as a central defensive midfielder and had an excellent game in central defensive midfield. Of course, we were singing his name, who needs Declan Rice and 3 more years, Ben Johnson and all that sort of stuff. But he played really, really well, Ben Johnson. I think he, for the cameo role that he played in the second half, I think it was absolutely excellent. So well played to him. There's a player in there that I think we need to keep hold of and, offer him a new contract and see what comes of it, because Johnson's always been a bit of a player that plays in many different positions, right back, left back, and now as a defensive midfielder as well, and he had a really, really good game. I think Cornet had a decent game. I was surprised that he was brought off. I think first half, I think Fornals was probably our worst player, but he was kept on. He got into the game, I guess, as the game wore on. And as I said, we got a deserved penalty. It was definite foul. Danny Ings, my goodness me, playing as a number 10 seems to suit him, and David Moyes seems to have found another way of playing, utilising the players that we've got. Ings as a number 10 was a little bit of a revelation, and he got the penalty for us, and it was taken by Ward-Prowse. And then, of course, they got a player sent off, rightly so. It was checked by VAR for dangerous play. And then at the end of the game, what on earth went on there? Soufal went off. I would like to say we seemed to implode. 2-1 up with a couple of minutes left in the game. We got a player sent off. But then their penalty, I mean, I'm only going by what I was told by people that were watching it on TV. But apparently their penalty was not a penalty. Apparently Areola got flattened, but for some reason it went against us, and they got a penalty to make it 2-2. Did we implode? Soufal, all right, second yellow card. One could say that maybe a second yellow was unfortunate, but it is what it is. But to be given a penalty against us deep into injury time seemed to be a little bit harsh. All right, so they got that, and then right at the death, Jared Bowen got dragged down, an absolute stonewall penalty, and we got nothing for that, and the game ended. Were we cheated a little bit? Look, without our key players like Paqueta, Kudus, Alvarez, you could argue that we are an average mid-table team. Great to have Bowen back, but I think it was, you could see he wasn't sharp. So without our key players, we are a mid-table Premier League team. But all credit to Moyes for utilising the players that he did. Putting Danny Ings on as a number 10 was a little bit of a masterstroke. He had Bone up front, he had Cornet out on the right, he had Fornals out on the left in the first half, and then he changed it where Fornals and Cornet switched, and that's what got us the goal. The minute Cornet went over to the left, he got the opportunity to score, and he did, and he took it. And I'm really pleased for Maxwell Cornet, to be quite honest with you, because people keep wondering, is he good enough? Is he over his injury, etc.? And I think he demonstrated today. He didn't do exceptionally well, but he did enough to suggest that there's a footballer in there that could actually deliver something for West Ham United in the second half of the season. So Moyes kept mixing it up. That was in the first half, and in the second half, all of a sudden Bowen went out right, Cornet went into the middle, Fornals over on the left, and it was causing Sheffield United problems. And it was good to see, all right, so he kept the formation of 4-3-3, but switching players around is not necessarily a bad tactic. It can work, and sometimes it can reap benefits. So, all in all, Areola, I can't blame him for their penalty, because I can only go by what I've been told. He got flattened. Seems to be unfair to have given a penalty against him. Soufal, I don't think was very good today. I think he was a bit hot and cold. Zuma, good grief. How that player can actually manage to run is beyond me. Mavropanos had a slightly better game, but he still kept giving balls away. Him and Soufal kept giving an awful lot of balls away throughout the game. Emerson just gets better and better for me. Ward-Prowse wasn't much in the game in the first half, got more involved in the second. Souček, I know Souček hasn't got the skill in the sense of technical ability, in the sense of what other players have, but at the same time, he gets in and about the game. He's an important player. He breaks up play, he gets his foot stuck in there, and he's also quite dedicated to the cause. Souček, as much as he doesn't have technical ability, it makes up with how he plays with his heart. Bowen, like I said, didn't really get into the game. It'll take maybe another game for him to get sharp again. Ings played great. Ben Johnson played great. Maxwell Cornet did all right. So all of a sudden, finally, we're managing to get something out of our squad players who, over the past few weeks, have not shown much at all. Maybe, as people say, give them more game time and they'll get more match fitness in, and they'll be able to deliver something different, possibly. Look, 2-2. A lot of fans said that if we walked away with a point from this game, we'd all be happy. I'm not so sure that I am. I think we got cheated out of 3 points. I think West Ham United deserved 3 points. We deserved not to have had a penalty against us, and that, given that, we deserve to have a penalty right at the end with the Bowen challenge. Anyway, we go on. We got now our mini winter break because we don't have a game until the 1st of February at home to Bournemouth. Hopefully by that time we'll have 1 or 2 more players back. But all in all, 2-2, can't argue. We go on from there.